cuties, besties, and ghosties. This is Muertera, and welcome to my channel, Muertero. Today we are doing a fun little reading, digging into what your person's thoughts and feelings are surrounding you right now. So we will start off with an energy check, and then we will dig into how they're thinking and feeling about you. We'll pull some channeled messages and then wrap up with charms. I will do a quick pick a card section so we can dig into the energy of the crystals, and I'll play a singing bowl in case you need a little bit extra time to choose. But if I don't see you there, then really excited to see you in the reading. Okay, bye. Hi friends. If you are here to pick your pile, we'll get into it. The first pile has a clear quartz on it. Clear quartz always reminds me of just clarity, enhanced communication, really cutting to the heart of an issue. The next one is lapis, and lapis is really about communication and centering yourself across your heart, mind, and throat. So it really reminds me of those like gnosis principles, like I think, I feel, and I act. But in this case, it's I speak. And our last pile has red jasper. This one's been popping up in my readings pretty frequently. I really feel called to it. It's a very grounding stone, color of blood. Blood is really our life force. Not something to be scared of, something to celebrate. So that is the energy for our third pile. So I will play this bowl for a few minutes, or probably just like a minute. And just sit back, relax, pick a pile, and I will see you in your reading. Okay, friends, so hopefully you've had enough time to choose your pile, and I will see you there. Okay, bye. Okay, friends, if you chose this this clear quartz, then this is pile one, and this is your pile. So we will start out with the central energy between you and your person, which this is a very light card, so let me kind of hold it up. You have the energy of ghost. Little ghosty, I'm sorry. I shuffled oracles for you already. We'll do an energy check right now. And then after that, we'll dig into tarot for thoughts and feelings. So if this energy does not seem like the energy that you're dealing with right now, totally fine. You can go pick another pile. This is just to make sure this is the reading for you. So we have Ghost. You actually had two cards come out, and this Strength card came out. It came out sideways, and I it just seemed like it was supposed to. So I kind of crossed them when I was shuffling them, and this is how they lie. I think this makes sense. The person on the left, which I generally will take to the person you're asking about, is represented by the fox and clarified it by the Ten of Wands, the Zakala Flambeau. The person on the left is represented by the golden egg and in reverse and the eagle, and then clarified by Santero, which is the King of Pentacles, and then the central energy is Gnosis. Okay, so let's get into the energies in the middle first, and then we can kind of expand out. So this fox person, I'm just going to throw it out there, probably ghosted you. And the fact that strength came out, these are kind of slippery cards, sorry. The fact that strength came out shows me that this person was very inconsistent in the way that they dealt with you, which is super frustrating. First off, I'm sorry that this has happened to you, because nobody deserves to be treated like that. What's interesting about the fox is when the fox is upright, the fox is a very stable, loyal partner. With the fox in reverse, I feel like this person does have a lot of hot and cold energy, and they probably came on really strong, and then all of a sudden either ghosted or kind of like pulled back, and then came in strong again, pulled back. Like, I feel like if they had just come in and ghosted completely, then a second card wouldn't have come out. And that's not really like the energy I get from them. I get kind of like the sly fox. Like, they're coming in, they're like getting attention and getting what they need, and then they get freaked out by it, and they get spooked, and they run. And I feel like this is coming for them because Gnosis is here, and Gnosis is all about spiritual development. It's about connecting to the universe and deeper truths. The fact that we're spiritual beings, we're here for a reason. I feel like this person is unable to connect with the mystical experiences of the world, because they have a very, very fear-based mentality, and they're extremely overwhelmed by their fears. And when we look at this Ten of Wands card, I love using these as oracles because they have such rich imagery in them. The Ten of Wands in a traditional tarot deck, like Rider-Waite, is about being overburdened. And in this card, there's smoke coming out. There's two lovers embracing in this smoke, and you can't see this person's face. Like, it's almost like they're lighting their dreams on fire and then just kind of like watching them burn. Which sounds so dark. But I feel like this person, this fox person, is terrified the most of the things that would bring them the most satisfaction in life, because they just don't have any trust in the world around them. They don't have trust that it's going to manifest into something good. Like, they almost feel like the things that they hope for and they wish for, like, they have such a pessimistic personality internally. I don't think this is something that they display externally. Like, the fox is charming, so they're probably like pretty charming and lively on the surface, but they are harboring some deep set fears that really burden them and make it impossible for them to commit to anything. Like, this person is not in action. They're just kind of sitting and smoking their pipe and watching their dreams and their desires go up in smoke. And that's kind of what I see with this person. Like, they're very like airy, and they have a really hard time manifesting and putting their desires into reality because they're so non-committal, because they're so deeply fearful. Like, deeply fearful. Golden egg. I'm gonna hazard a guess that this is y'all. This is much more of a stable energy, but I think still developing. I think it's really interesting here. All of these spirit animal cards are yellow and black. I mean, the deck is like black, so really they have elements of yellow in it. Um, the fox is pretty light yellow. It has some like darkness around the sides, but the golden egg is definitely straight up marigold, and there's even darker yellow inside of this eagle card. I feel like when it comes to spiritual development, you are just further along than this person and much more connected with the universe and universal truths. Um, you you just feel more grounded, and your clarifier is also the Santero, which is the King of Pentacles. Like, while this person really struggles to put their dreams and their manifestations into reality, I think that you have a very consistent work ethic, and you are able to, like, you have drive to manifest something. I have a feeling that you're working on a project right now, because this egg is in reverse. The egg is about finding stillness within and being able to connect to ourselves. And I feel like that's something that you are developing right now. And through that, you are seeing like the work of that like manifesting in this world. So whether it's like starting a business, or you're going to school, or you just changed careers, like I feel like that's something that is still gestating, or maybe you're like thinking about doing these things. But just overall, like the eagle has a lot of passion and fire, but it also talks about trial through fire. And I feel like this dynamic has had the impact on you where you took kind of like a heartbreak from this situation and you created something out of it. Whereas this person is just kind of like spinning their wheels and like, oh, another one goes up in smoke. Oh, another one goes up in smoke. That's kind of the vibe that I get from them right now. So we're going to look at tarot now, and we are going to talk about what they are thinking and feeling when it comes to this connection. So this is also your reminder, if these energies did not resonate with you, then there are 2 other piles. Definitely go pick another one if you are so called. Okay, friends, so the first deck we're going to use is the Cute Ghost Tarot. I actually was going to use a different deck, but because you got the ghost energy, I feel like this deck is super fitting. And I pretty much specifically use it for ghosty energy, so right on track. Okay, Spirit. What can you tell me about how this person thinks about this connection? Okay, the 10 of Cups reversed. And we have the Queen of Coins. Low-key, I have like Dashed Dreams vibes. Like, it is better to like it is better to lose something that never existed than it would be to actually feel the pain of losing something real. Which isn't surprising for ghosty energy, to be perfectly honest. Okay. Yeah. And then the back of the deck is the Queen of Cups. We're just going to keep that for a reference, but... Oh my god. Okay. Spirit. can you tell me about how this person... Well, first they're letting me know that I definitely still have like the label of the deck in here. My bad. Hence, I feel like that. I wanted to come out. Okay. How is this person feeling about this connection? Like, I definitely think this is a person who low-key, like, wallows in their own self-pity. And I really do think that, okay, well, this tower is coming reversed under the Two of Wands. This person has frustrating energy. I apologize for them. So the self-pity is kind of like high in this pile. The self-fulfilling prophecy of, oh, good things don't happen for me. But really, it's this person's lack of effort that causes that to happen. I think they feel cut off from your energy right now. We have both the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Coins here. Like, I kind of get the sense that they realize that you are kind of like moving on to bigger and brighter things right now. Like, whatever that egg is that you're working on, this person can see, and they're realizing that, like, your attention really isn't on them anymore. It's elsewhere, and it's distressing for this person. I think that their strength and fire at the beginning, like, they had a lot of enthusiasm, and they saw a future with you, but this self-fulfilling prophecy just got in the way. Like, they saw, like, okay, you had the King of Pentacles in the last spread, the Queen of Pentacles is here. I think that they really doubted that they could provide for you as well as you could provide for you. Like, they were expecting a Queen of Pentacles, and they got a King of Pentacles, and I think it kind of shook them. They're like, well, if you have that covered, then what do you need me for? Like, I don't think this person has very high self-worth, and they really judge, like, their worthiness on material things. I'm hearing kind of analysis paralysis as well. So, like, this person was like, oh, well, then I don't know how to move forward. And their inability to decide and, like, make a decision and move on to something concrete basically was kind of like the nail in the coffin for this connection, like, as it stands now. It's interesting that we have the Eight of Cups in reverse, clarified by the World. I feel like this person is just avoiding actually working on themselves and moving towards closing this cycle. Because this is something that's been going on for a very long time. You are not the first one. Like, the bottom of the deck energy for their feelings was the Ten of Swords reversed. Like, this person has been in this energy for a very long time, and it probably stems from either a relationship that went south or a combination of a relationship that went south and early childhood wounds. I think that they have, like, they want to communicate the way that they feel, but they're really, like, distracted, and they're distracting themselves with people, places, things. They might be partying, they might use substances. I don't get, like, a super, like, I don't get, like, a very, like heavy drugs or something like vibe from this. I just think it's like, oh, I'm gonna go find stuff that's fun that really helps me avoid going within. I think this person just really avoids going within to the nth degree. because they would have to deal with the fact that they feel lonely, they feel devastated, and they are truly like creating the pain in their lives themselves. It's got a lot of self-sabotage energy to it as well. Yeah, I think we'll move on to channeled messages, because I'm curious to see what they would say. I think for me, though, objectively, this person had a lot of hope and really had a lot of feelings for you. I know that there are no feelings cards. Like this was thinking and this was feeling. I think that they really have a hard time actually getting to the core of how they feel and processing it. And they're much more comfortable displaying kind of like grand gestures of emotion, but not really like sitting with their emotional feelings. Most of what's coming through in their feelings about this connection is self-pity and the fact that they feel like they work and work and nothing pays off. But like, that's really not true. That's just a lie that they're telling themselves. Like they tell themselves a lot of lies, because this is a pattern that has been repeating for them, and it just prevents them from closing out that cycle. Okay, so if they could say anything to you, what would they say? Okay, maybe like two more. I'm worth those. You are stunning is the first card that came out. I think actually that's 6. Let's start with this. I do think that like they think you're the whole package. Like you're all that in a bag of chips. You're the queen of coins. You're the king of coins. You're the queen of cups. Like literally, I'm hearing in my head like, why do you need me? I miss you most in quiet moments. Which I will say that this person avoids quiet moments to save their life. Like they're really trying to avoid going within because they will have to sit with their own thoughts and they don't want to. No one else makes me laugh like you do. The distance is killing me. Yeah. I know this isn't over. That's their like, they're kind of like anxious avoidant pull, right? Like this person keeps coming back. And it's kind of up to you, like, if you're going to accept this. As this stands right now, this does not feel like this person wants to change. I see us getting married one day. That's the 10 of Cups up here. I mean, yes, and, like, this person just puts that dream in a pipe and freaking smokes it. Like, I would be hesitant. I know these are the comforting messages, but I would be very hesitant to trusting this person. This is your life. You have free will. You get to let them in or not. And this is just energy, right? Like this is how they're feeling. And I wish I could text you is actually like the top of this. This person wants to talk to you. That's why we got the Knight of Swords. And he's actually a pretty chill Knight of Swords in this deck too. I don't think you're going to get like some crazy communication. But as this person stands in their energy right now, they are not ready. I would be very, not suspicious, but very wary of getting into it without some reassurance that they're going to work on their issues and they're going to work on their self-perception, because they just have this like stuck mentality on their life being already written, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy that creates chaos in their life. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But we'll grab some charms. And how this person feels about you. Like what reminds them of you. Okay. So we got this little like masculine triangle. I think you really challenge their definition of masculinity and you make them feel very insecure, which is not your responsibility. Like that's the reason why if they came now, I don't think that they're ready until they really heal that. It's really healing their own masculine aspect. The turtle is here. I feel like this person thinks you're wise. Like they think that you're everything. Like you just have this like this connection to the world in a way that they don't, and self-assurance that they don't, and they really look up to you in that way. There is a heart with a little speech bubble. If you can see this one, but this one's cute. This person really, really wants to talk to you, but they're very scared, which is, yeah, I mean, I'd be scared if I acted this way too. They also think you're very cute. Like you are the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups for this person. We also have a little crown. These just remind me of like just connection to the divine feminine and maybe like ultra femininity. Take that as you will, you know, if however you identify. There's a little bee here, so I think this person realizes you're a busy bee and you're not going to wait around forever. Like you're already manifesting something else, and they're in their feels about it. The unicorn is here. They find you magical. I mean, like they can see a future with you as, you know, Queen of Cups, getting married one day. But I just, like, you're a unicorn and they like look at themselves as like a pet rock or something like that. And then we have the butterfly. So I think they do see that there's a potential to change here, but they're very fearful of their own change. And they're kind of wishing for change. They're wishing for the tower moment that's actually going to break them out of this cycle and get them out of their head. And then we have little dragonfly, which tells me that they have a lot of like mental energy going into this connection. Like they are thinking about it a lot. But that the dragonfly, like to a certain extent, has like a very, they're kind of like on to the next. So this person is pretty flighty, especially when it comes to translating their thoughts into action. Yeah, so that's all I have for you today, friends. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope that you are recovering from this person's actions, that this brings you a little bit of comfort. Stay safe out there. Protect your heart. I'm sending you so much love right now. If this reading resonated, please like, comment, subscribe. That really helps me grow my channel. And I hope you will come back and see me soon. So hope you're doing well wherever you are. And until next time, bye. Hi, cuties. If you pick this lapis lazuli, this is pile 2. Probably should have said hi, pile 2, but this is your reading. Okay. The energy that I pulled out here was rejection, if you can see this. And when I was setting up for this pile, which I also forgot to sage like a little bit, last energy was a little ghosty. This one, I was hearing that song, I've been trying to get down to the heart of the matter, and something gets weak, and my heart seems to scatter, and I think it's about forgiveness, even if you don't love me. I don't know, maybe that is meaningful. Maybe we'll dig in and we'll understand what the message is. Yeah. Okay, this was definitely, so these are the cards that I pulled. We have, I believe the snake was over here. Yep. So The person on that we're asking about is going to be on the left. Although there might be mirroring, or you might find yourself in one side of the pile as opposed to the other, but that's how I took it. And these were definitely the other way. I'm like trying to remember and piece them back together. And I actually think the snake was upright as well. I have these backwards. And then we have the stone as just a clarifier for the central energy between the two of you. And we have the Queen of Cups and the Sun, clarifying the stingray earthworm person. And on the left, we have Death as Courier de Mardi Gras. Okay, so I misspoke, and this is definitely the devil here on the left with the snake. So I do just straight off the bat see a little bit of mirroring across these two different sides. In particular, in the snake and the earthworm. And in general, I do feel like the snake person, they have some sort of like coldness or wall up. I feel like they've kind of hardlined in like some way. They're not a person who's like really like open to negotiation. They feel very rigid, and that's not traditionally what the snake is about. The snake is really about being able to put creative potential and force and manifest it into the world. But this person just, they seem very snake-like in a cold way. Like they're out here really for themselves, and if you meet them where they're at and you fit into their vision of the world, then cool, you can come along for the ride. But they just seem, with this like stone in the middle, it just feels like the situation is like a little bit immovable in a situation, or in a sense. And rejection I kind of see as like a few different ways. Like this person could have rejected your love. Like, or if you're in a partnership with them, they're rejecting negotiations or rejecting your growth. Both the stingray and the earthworm are relatively tentative energies, like maybe some of the most tentative energies in this deck. And the earthworm, like this energy on this side feels a little bit younger and more exuberant. And it feels like the earthworm is just starting to understand their creative potential, and they're starting to develop, like the stingray talks about developing a backbone, and the earthworm talks about developing self-confidence. And so I feel like if these two people were in a connection, the snake really called the shots at the beginning. And the snake was like, this is how it is. And the earthworm was a little bit more timid. But the earthworm, this side seems incredibly warm. Like we have the Queen of Cups and the Sun. I feel like this earthworm person started to realize their self-worth and started to cultivate this really rich inner life. And if you see, there's a rainbow inside of the earthworm, and then there's also a rainbow down the spine of the stingray. I think that this newfound confidence and this newfound creative energy and lightness within themselves has helped them slowly start to take back a little bit of control from their life. And if you're in a relationship with a snake person, this is bringing out some of their unhealed wounds and unhealthy tendencies. I think that they're very used to being in control, and they don't like this new change. They're very, very resistant to it. And the thing is with the stone is the stone has so much potential. Like, it is the densest material in the world. When stones compact, they create gems. Like, they're not seeing this change as beneficial for the both of you. They're seeing it as detracting from them. And it's really challenging their sense of control in this. If you're not in a partnership with this person, I think that they are seeing you develop this spine, and it is not really what they're looking for. And that's on them. That's not on you. Like, this is actually a really beautiful energy of self-growth. Like, if you look at this sun card, there's little babies inside of the solar flares. Like, you're someone who's really in touch with your emotions in a way that the snake really has not mastered yet. And it makes them quite uncomfortable. It makes them feel very out of their element. And they would much rather be the person calling the shots. So they're a fully developed snake, and you're like a little budding earthworm. They liked the dynamic of when you were more like just the stingray, and you were more malleable, essentially. And that's where their comfort zone is. Okay, so this is our energy check. If this does not feel like your pile, feel free to go choose a different one. Otherwise, we are going to get into the tarot. Okay, so we are first going to ask Spirit about how they are thinking about the connection. And I think the rejection honestly could have gone both ways. Like, you as your development maybe didn't want to be controlled anymore. Or maybe you walked away from this. I see this more of like a rejection of a dynamic as opposed to a rejection of this person. So maybe you were just unhappy in the dynamic that you currently had, and you're currently in the space of rejecting it. And it is causing a lot of discomfort for the snake person. Like, they are really retreating in their shell because they don't know how to relinquish control or share a bit in that way. It's kind of an interesting energy. Like, it feels resistant, not toxic, if that makes sense. Which is why I feel like this is more like you have some sort of connection with this person, as opposed to like this stopped and never really like manifested into anything. Okay, so how are they thinking about you? How is this person thinking about you? Okay. Back of the deck is the High Priestess. Yeah, I think this person is struggling to see how the new you fits in with their internal self and their definition of self. They're having a hard time like processing feelings around it. So it'll be interesting seeing feelings. Okay, Muertos, what are this person's feelings surrounding pile 2? The Wheel of Fortune in reverse. The Six of Wands. Yeah, this person really like feels comfortable being like provider, protector energy. That's really, they want to be leading that charge and calling all the shots. And they're resisting that change. Oop, we just got a bunch flip out. Okay. Okay, so we have the King of Cups in reverse, the Six of Pentacles, and I'm going to call that clarified by the Fool, and then we have the Nine of Swords. Was that the Eight of Swords? The Nine of Swords. It confuses me sometimes in this deck because the Nine of Swords is all tied up, kind of like the Eight of Swords would be, but okay. So I don't get the sense that this person is really like communicating with you about tangible things right now. It feels like they are really struggling to reconcile the changes that your growth has had in this connection. And they really don't know how they feel about it. I think this person, frankly, is like a little bit like scared. This Fool in reverse under the Six of Pentacles like really gives me like they're feeling a little out of their depth. Like they're used to being the person who's given out the coins, and now they're being asked to receive as well. And they don't know what that step is going to look like. And it's under the Nine of Wands in reverse. So this is causing a lot of challenge for them internally. One thing I want to say, because it feels like this person's distance is really hurtful. And with this Three of Cups and King of Cups, I feel like this person has the capacity for warmth, but right now they're not sharing it with you. They're kind of focused on like other things outside of the connection, and have kind of withdrawn. Especially if you're in a relationship with this person, this feels like very heavy energy and really hurtful. And I just want to say that I'm sorry. The changes that you're making to your life are very positive for you. And this person is stuck in a fear-based mentality and being pushed out of their comfort zone, and they're not handling it well. Like, they don't have the connection to self and the coping mechanisms to really handle this. And it's something right now that they're really, really struggling to figure out. They really feel like this is like a low moment for them. And I wouldn't be surprised if this person is really like pouring themselves into work, and really meaningless like interactions to kind of avoid actually dealing with this. And I feel like it's causing both of your energies, like, I feel like both of your energies are kind of like repelling each other right now, which is less problematic if you're not actually dating this person. More just sad. But it just feels like a little bit mutual. I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna look at channeled messages. I honestly don't know what's gonna come through. This person seems a little bit disconnected with their emotions. And like they're really just focusing on provider, protector they've kind of withdrawn communication. I feel like they've just become like, they have become the stone or like a shell of the person that they once were with you. And they feel trapped by this. Like they feel like they're almost like in this dynamic and they have no idea how to get out of it. Because we have like the Nine of Wands and the Nine of Swords here. And they know that in order to have a new beginning and to actually get this wheel to flip upward, they're going to have to redefine what a comfortable relationship means for them and maybe like cede some control. And they don't like that. Okay, so let's get some channeled messages. Spirit, what can you tell me about what this person would say if they could be completely honest? What would this person say to pile 2 if they could be completely honest? You know, the thing that's like weird about this, I just heard like, you amaze me. I think this person is actually like quite proud of the changes that you've made. Like they're the snake and they're looking at you and they're like, oh, you're turning into the earthworm. But they're like, but I don't like what that means for me. Which might be why this person can't really like respond or process this right now. Because they don't know how. It's like this like split energy of, I'm happy and proud of you, and I feel like I'm kind of like this, like almost like mentor for you, in kind of like, I don't know, like career, like worldly sense or something like that. Like maybe this is an older coworker at work, like, but they didn't anticipate what these changes would mean for your dynamic. And so if it happened and it was like impacting somebody else, it'd be like, hell yeah, like this is dope. You should be speaking up for yourself more. You should be asking for more things. You should be setting boundaries. You should be, you know, that queen you are. But then it also impacted their connection with you and they didn't like that change. And so it's like this like warring perspective in between, like within themselves as well. Being like, well, I actually don't even know how to be provider protector for this person anymore. That just keeps coming out for me. Because I know these are good changes for them, but like, I don't like them. And what does that say about me? Okay. I'm living for me right now. Yeah. The depth of my feelings scare me. That actually kind of makes sense because they don't really, besides these cups here, there's not that many cups here, but they're disconnected from their feelings because the High Priestess is in reverse here. I will return. I see the world in your eyes. I run from my feelings. I'm becoming aware of my own divinity. I have so much more to offer. Provider, protector. It just keeps on coming back. And I'm working on being deserving of your love. This might be the type of person who just like literally like hermits and hides until they figure out how they feel. And I think this like the mentality that they have to relationships and your dynamic is not healthy. I think they know that, but I don't think they really know how to change it. And they're not keen on what your development has meant for them. I think that's kind of like the core of it. Okay, we are going to get some charms to wrap this up. Just what can you tell me about how this person thinks about pile 2? Okay. Oh, the mermaid. I love that one. Yeah, I just kind of look at this and see, like, I see the world in your eyes. They see you and they see your potential. Kind of reminds me of like the Little Mermaid when, Eric rescues Ariel and doesn't really like see what her worth is until the end of the movie. And I think that's kind of the vibe I get here is like this person thought you were beautiful to begin with, but then you started growing and what you are turning into is like far more stunning than they could ever have thought possible. But like the Little Mermaid, Eric's like, dude, I got legs. Like, you got a fin. What? I don't like the changes this makes for me. Like, I gotta be a king. I can't go into the ocean. So, I don't know. I mean, you have free will. It depends. Like, there are going to be different situations in this pile. I think if you are in a relationship with this person, I get the sense that they're going to come around. Like, we also have a little diamond, and that just kind of goes along with that, like a little diamond in the rough. Like, you are that diamond in the stone. And maybe that stone is also talking about development too. Like, this person might be scared that you're going to outgrow them. And that's part of them being very resistant to the change, is they're very comfortable where they are right now. And your growth might mean eventually that you don't want to stay with them anymore. The shooting star, like, you are shooting upwards, you're growing. You are becoming more self-reliant and more confident. We have the high heel, like, you a bad bitch is what I just heard. And then we have the rose and the leaf. I feel like this person, you bring a lot of light to their life and a lot of life. You are a very lively person. And also they appreciate kind of the warmth that you bring. Like, you brighten up the room for them, kind of like when you bring flowers into a room. Like, it just makes it brighter. We also have the Eiffel Tower and the plane. So if you've traveled with this person, I feel like they love traveling with you. I think this also talks about like expansion of experiences as well, and they see you getting new experiences, and they see you expanding, and they're kind of like, well, am I going to be the person that's with you in front of the Eiffel Tower? Like, I don't know. Also, this Eiffel Tower is like crooked. It's more like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. But yeah, I'm sorry that you're going through this kind of like cold moment right now. It does feel like this person's energy will come around eventually. But they're going to have to relinquish control of you and control of the situation. And depending on what your situation is, you may want to wait around for it, or you may honestly just call it a day if you don't have a very strong connection with this person and say, like, our energies are not vibing anymore. Like, they just don't make sense anymore. For those of you that have kind of a longer standing connection with this person, I do think they're recognizing that some things need to change. They're just not super motivated to do them right now. At the end of the day, it's energy. Energy can change. This is just a reading at this moment. So use your discernment. Keep that in mind. But congratulations on your self-growth, on prioritizing yourself. You are a bad bitch. You a queen. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I'm so grateful to have you here. If this resonated for you, please like, subscribe, comment. And I hope I will see you back really soon. Okay, bye. Hi, Pile 3. This is Muertera from the future. editing muertera with different nails. Um, when I was editing this video, I realized that the message in this pile came through pretty direct, and I think I was a little bit more objective and blunt than I typically normally am. So I just want to put a little bit of a trigger warning at the beginning of this video. If you're feeling sensitive at all and that's not the type of message that you want today, there are 2 other piles. I just want to make sure that this is a helpful reading. I don't think there's anything in the reading that is that particularly bad. It just came through extremely direct, and it's a very specific dynamic. So if you are really called to this pile and you're okay with getting a really direct message right now, it might be for you and helpful. But if it's sounding not like you when you do the energy check, then definitely click over to another pile. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're protecting your little hearts. And if I don't see you in pile 3, I hope I see you in either pile 1 or 2. Okay, bye. Hi, pile 3. If you pick this red little jasper nugget, this is your reading. And the energy between you and your person right now is ideation. This is kind of an interesting card. I get like castle in the sky type vibes from this right now. Like ideating is kind of like throwing paint at a wall. You do it in design thinking sessions, and you kind of like go through a bunch of like rapid prototypes and development. It's an interesting card as an energy between people. So we'll see what came out in your oracles, which I lost a card. Okay. So for person 1, we have the fire ant and Shango. Shango is in reverse. And on the left side, we're going to do person 1 and person 2 type format. And I'm going to read it like this is the person you're asking about, and on the right is you. So just keep that in mind. We have the judge reversed as a clarifier to the central energy. We have gazelle reversed for person 2 or you, and carnival. Okay. So let's get into the central energy right now, and then we can kind of work our way out. So ideation here is clarified by the judge. The judge is exactly how it sounds. It's really about judgmental energy, whether that's coming from within or without. I get the sense that ideation here is almost a clinging to the ideal of what something should look like. I feel like on both sides, both the gazelle and the fire ant have an idea of what this relationship should look like or how each other should act. And it's actually creating conflict between the two. Like neither is on the same page. And the energy is like pretty interesting as well. So on one hand, we have the fire ant, and the fire ant really is kind of like an overexpression of that fire energy. We have Shango as well, which in this deck is the 8 of Pentacles, but Shango in reverse is really like Emperor in reverse. Like very controlling, fiery, but like an unseated emperor, so like acts without thinking, wants to destroy one thing in a temple in the village, and instead of just like walking in and destroying it, he destroys the whole village, like that kind of vibe. And so this person seems like very rigid in the way they think, but also explosive. And I think kind of swings wildly from like loving to aggressive, and has kind of severe personality, or not personality, but mood swings is what I'm looking for. The gazelle talks about, like when it's upright, a connection to vulnerability. Gazelle, when it's reversed, really talks about being hyper aware. I think that these two people have a specific dynamic. And what's clarifying for the gazelle is the world or release, like the universe. I feel like both the fire ant and the gazelle put their ideas about each other on each other as almost like limiting beliefs. And I don't want to say like it's just aimed at each other. It's also aimed at themselves. Like they have a lot of self-judging tendencies. Like they need to act in a certain way. Like maybe they have like the fire ant thinks that he needs to be like kingly and proud and strong, and that's what a masculine does. And because they're very like distinct, like masculine feminine energies is what's kind of coming out here. And they also have very similar colors in the cards as well, so I feel like there is kind of mirroring, although it's expressing differently from either side. So fire ant has been conditioned to be this fiery masculine, aggressive, domineering, things like that. Gazelle, I feel like, has been conditioned to be meek. And I actually don't think the meekness, I don't think it always comes out that way. I think this person is hyper aware and hyper vigilant, and while they may not have kind of the explosive fire that maybe the fire ant does in that very aggressive manner, I do think that like they go through like ebbs and flows. Like they may be super critical and kind of like nitpicky one day, and then the next day they're like, oh, I've released that and let that go, and then it kind of simmers for a while. So I see kind of both of these sides like going through essentially cycles with each other, where it's like maybe like peaceful in sometimes, and then it kind of explodes, and then there's this release of energy. But I think what it's really tied to is they're projecting their ideas and their ideals of what the other partner should be, as opposed to really accepting themselves and accepting the other person. I kind of feel like this pile is going to have less people who, it could be like the very beginning of something where you are kind of idealizing that other person and not really like realizing how they're fitting into a pattern. Or you may be in like a relatively toxic relationship. And I'm sorry to say that, and I'm an extremely blunt person. But it's important to understand the energies that are surrounding you, and how basically how our conditioning has led us to believe falsehoods. Like masculine doesn't have to be super aggressive to be a very strong masculine. Feminine doesn't have to be naggy, nitpicky, passive to be a strong feminine. Like those are kind of like lies that we've been sold. So I think this is a very particular energy. If you can see yourself in your dynamic, it's your pile. If you can't see this dynamic, I would definitely say pick another pile. Because, this is a general reading, so there will be variations, but this kind of tension between like idealized versions of themselves is something that's a pretty specific energy. Okay, so we are going to dig into the tarot, and we are going to ask what this fire ant person is thinking about pile 3. I just heard 2 peas in a damn pod. It's a dynamic. Like, really want to stop and say, like, this does not mean that there isn't love between the two. I think that there is a really deep bond between these two. It's just being expressed in a way that's not very healthy right now. Like this amount of tension wouldn't be there if there weren't feelings involved. Um, I think it feels like these two are like really like acting out patterns of behavior that they experienced as children. Okay. Spirit, what can you tell me about how Pile 3's person is thinking about them? 9 of Pentacles. And how do you want to go? Okay, Knight of Cups reversed. There's kind of that like stopping, starting energy. Like there seems to be some sort of like secular dynamic here. Spirit, what can you tell me about Pile 3's? How their person thinks about them. Six of Pentacles. Well, they do love to be nurtured by you. I will say that. I think that like nurturing and stability, you know, when you're in the upswing and you've really like leaned into that, that is something that they like really love. I don't want to take this card. I don't know why. Okay, the Tower. And the Nine of Swords. The Two of Pentacles. So I'm wondering if the reason why this energy is coming out like so strong, being kind of combative, is if you two have recently gotten in an argument. Because this feels more like, yes, there's a dynamic here, but these are really strong energies. And it feels like it's temporary, like there's going to be another lull again. Like it's on the upswing. I don't know. Okay, how is person 3's person thinking, Pile 3's person thinking about them? I'm starting to lose my marbles. Feeling. I was asking feelings. Feelings. Oh, dear Lord. Okay. Bottom of the deck is the Nine of Cups. Okay. We have the Queen of Pentacles, the High Priestess, and the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Okay, and this is the cycles that I'm talking about. I mean, this person, they're stuck in a rut. And I feel like to some extent they feel like they never win. But I think that's not really like objectively true. It's really that there's no winning in the situation when you're kind of going back and forth like this. They're definitely thinking a lot about how give and take works in this relationship and how you fit into that. I think their ideal woman is really like Queen of Pentacles to like the nth Queen of Pentacle, you know, like you're nurturing, you take care of them, like you make them dinner, you're kind of like more like a homemaker. and don't really like speak up too much. I mean, it sounds horrible. It sounds, but it kind of is what like they think that they want. And I think they're really evaluating what their life would look like if they were single versus in this connection, and how much effort, like sustained effort, they would have to put in over time, and just feeling like they're not sure if they would be successful in it. And they really care about looking like they've been successful as well. Like intuitively, I think that they know that they're at a down point right now, and a lot of these doubts that they're having are because of this conflict, and because of these castles that they kind of built in the sky, or maybe you built them together. Like this Nine of Cups is in reverse, and it just kind of makes me feel like they thought they were going on the road to the Ten of Cups, but then all of a sudden like their cups flipped over. But I feel like this has happened before. Like this isn't a new thing for them. Like you just kind of have been going in this cycle and going in this cycle. And maybe this was like a really particularly bad one, because the Tower clarified by the High Priestess tells me that they're really evaluating what happened in this situation and feel very bad about the way that they contributed to it. And they kind of recognize that there's a lot of like imbalance in this connection as well. Like the Two of Pentacles is here, and it's in reverse. Like there's a lot of instability, and they recognize that the instability isn't necessarily just them, and it's not just you. Like I don't get a lot of blame from this spread. Like this person isn't blaming you for any of the problems, but they also, they seem like they're just in a period of evaluation, and they don't really know how to move forward. Like this is definitely in a heavy, like it's in a thought heavy vibe. Like there really isn't a lot of action cards essentially. And if there are action cards, they're kind of in reverse. So I feel like this person is really just like processing what's happened at this point and trying to figure out what was reality, what was something that they like what was the ideal standard that was like unattainable that they held themselves to or held you to, or what lies were they telling themselves about excuse me, your connection. Because that ideation card is just like it keeps coming back to that. It feels very airy. It's not grounded. It's not grounded in reality. And so I think this person is really like at the beginning stages of processing whatever happened between the two of you. I don't think I have much more than that right now. Like they're feeling what they're feeling right now. Like there is deep love for you, but they're trying to figure out like what's the distinction between like my deep love for this person and who I think that they should be and who they are. And what's the difference between like this deep love and who I am and who I think I should be? Like what pressure have I put on myself or put on the other person in this situation that's unfair? And so it's causing a lot of stress for them, a lot of pain, and I think this person is wanting to get out of this cycle, But until they go through that kind of grieving process and just processing this in general, they don't really know what direction they're going to go. Okay, I'm going to pull channeled messages to ask what this person would say to you if they could say anything. Okay, what would this person say to you if they could say absolutely anything? What would your person say to you if they could say absolutely anything? I feel like that one wants to come out. I think this is like difficult because I don't think they even know yet what they would say. So the first card that came out, I'm working on being deserving of your love. I took the easy way out. I feel small. Yeah. This person does not feel like they have been successful right now. I need to find myself. Your pull is impossible and impossible to ignore. And then the top of the deck is I want to make it up to you. Yeah. This person does not feel good about their actions. They know that they need to improve, but they really need to take some time in this like high priestess and tower vibe to figure out what changes they need to make, because I think that they're recognizing that they need to make changes. They don't like the cycle and the dynamic that you're in, but they're unsure of how to actually change it. So we'll ask about charms for a little bit extra clarity and how this person views you. My spirit, you have some charms, please? Okay. Yeah, so the first charm that I'm seeing is this blue moon. And the song Blue Moon just came in my head. Blue moon. This situation is upset and hurt this person. But they are trying to look at their shadow aspects and see what changes they can make. Although it's at the beginning, you know, something that's popping out too, like handmade, like it takes time to create something by hand. And I think this person they want to improve and they want to change, but they're still just at the beginning process. Like even just coming back to that ideation card, like when you're building a prototype, you prototype so many different things before you like finalize your design and choose a final design. And I feel like this person is just starting to prototype themselves and who they want to be. We have the blue crown here, so I do think that they are getting in touch with what it means to actually be a strong masculine, however they identify. The sparkle heart is here. Like, there is so much love here, but there's also that fiery, like sparkly, it's a firecracker, you know, like there is that potential for it here. And I feel like they're recognizing that, and that's something that they want to change. There's a guitar, so I'm hearing you speak to me through music. You may like really enjoy creating music together. There's also a Chanel number 5. This particular charm, like, it reminds me of femininity. Like, this person really likes being in your energy, but it also reminds us that if you don't replenish something, it's a finite resource. Like, this person can't expect you to just spray your feminine grace on them without actually giving you what you need as well, um, and asking what you need, you know? Um, so I think that's a reminder to them that they need to give back as much as they get. The snowflake is here, so I do feel like this is a unique connection for the both of you. It's important. Um, but snowflakes are very fragile. And I think this person is realizing that if they are not, like, if snow's in too hot of an environment, it's going to melt. And if this person continues to bring the amount and degree of heat that they bring to the situation, your connection is going to melt. Like, they need to be able to keep themselves in check and in balance enough to actually, like, preserve this snowflake and preserve its beauty. That's really sweet. And then we have the little leaf charm. And it's also red. So normally I have a definition, or like a different definition for this, but this feels sad to me. This feels like trees dropping in, or like leaves dropping in fall, and not like a cute like pumpkin spice latte way. I mean, like, this person is worried that this conflict is like causing the tree to die. So definitely a lot of worries here. I do see them taking the first steps to start healing themselves and figuring out who they want to be. So that's reassuring. You have free will always, so this is a general reading, so there could be so many different situations here. If this person is harming you or hurtful to you, you have free will, but make sure that you're taking care of yourself, and removing yourself from situations that are harmful. If this person, has a temper and it's something they want to work on, and you feel like the connection is healthy, this is a sign that they're starting to take those baby steps. So really, it's all up to you. I'm here to support you and give you as much information as I can. But I hope this was helpful. I hope it brought some comfort. And if you enjoyed the reading, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me so much as I'm trying to grow my channel. And above all, I hope you stay safe, you protect your heart, value yourself. And I hope you'll come and see me again soon. Okay, bye.